This one is for all my creatives, all the artists, designers, please come to the front. It's Chrissy, your favorite side quest queen, and today we're exploring what it takes to own a tattoo studio. We pulled up on Roger, an Atlanta native, born and raised, who actually started out as an engineer. That's right, Studio After 5 was a pivot. The sky is the limit, y'all, so let's learn about what it takes.
Who are you? Where are we?
So I'm Roger. I'm the owner of Roger Anthony III, actually. I'm the owner of Studio After 5. It's an art gallery, tattoo shop, and we also have a second side of the business that is part of our business development side. So that includes tax services, business incorporation, and stuff like that.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. Before we start talking, I want to get into what we're looking at, what's around us. I see a lot of art. Who did this art?
So most of the art in here is mine. Pretty much everything except what's over in that corner. In that corner, there's Mickey. She is one of the artists. She's not in here today, but she's one of the tattoo artists here. So everything over there in that corner is hers, but everything else is my art that I created over the years, for whether it was for art shows or just for fun, or whether I made a print to sell. Or
Yeah. You mentioned art shows. How often do you have art shows?
I don't really have like art shows and like at like certain intervals. I just do them when I feel like I want to. If I'm being honest,
I like that.
I never really set myself like, oh, I got to do one every year, nothing like that. But normally when I have the urge, I'll do it. So my last one was in 2022.
Okay.
I have another one coming up April 10th of this year.
Nice.
And it's called Pivot. So
very cool. Very cool. That's cool. Okay, so I want to get to like how you got here, how you started doing tattoos. Did you always want to do tattoos? Did you always do art? Tell me how your art transitioned into.
I mean, to be honest, it wasn't nothing but God. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep it simple.
Yeah.
I started off, I'm from Atlanta, so I left to go to Howard thinking I was gonna be an engineer, that I would probably be there for 4 years, maybe 5. And and then I come back. Like that was the plan. You know what I mean? Then I come back to Atlanta, whatever. And but I got to Howard and I was always into tattoos. So like I always loved tattoos. They always intrigued me, but art was never something that I saw as something that could make real money. Art was never something that I saw was cool, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I was an athlete, I was a good student. I was in the magnet program. So like I love like learning and stuff like that. But like art was never something that really drew me in. So just wasn't interested. Like didn't have any issues with it. Never even really tried to draw. To be honest with you. Well,
except when he was a little kid.
When I was a little kid, we can talk about that. But so as far as I knew, I had never really tried to draw. You know what I'm saying? So I went to when I got to Howard and I was an engineer. The first time I really started trying to like sketch stuff, we were actually in a bridge design class. We were studying this new bridge that was being built out in Cali. It was this self-anchored suspension bridge. Like it was this dope design. And I was in charge of like looking at this part of it that was called the shear link beams. And it's like this physics stuff. But it was dope. Like it was so dope. It was fascinating how it worked. And so I had to draw like the schematics for our presentation. And so I'm just like sketching them out. You know what I mean? And everybody was kind of looking at me like, nigga, that shit looks like it's in the book. Like, you don't see what you're doing. Like, what you mean? Like, cause it was on like graph paper and stuff. So they made, to me, that's like it's a grid. Like, you don't see this? Like, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? They're like, no. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of went from there to like, because I was always interested in tattoos, I always had a lot of ideas for them. So even when I was in high school, I started getting tattooed in high school. Even my friends, when they would want to get tattooed, they would come to me and be like, hey, what you think I should get? If I want this and this, how you think I should put it together? And I'd just be like, oh, why don't you get, oh, bro, that shit gonna be hard. They're gonna get tattooed.
You're an artist.
But I didn't ever try to draw it. I was just telling them. You know what I'm saying? So I always had the ideas. And I would even tell ideas to other people that I knew could draw, and they would never really be able to bring out what I had in my head. You know what I'm saying? So eventually, when I got to Howard, same thing kind of happened. I was looking for some designs to go on my ribs. I went around asking different people, Nobody could really help me. The couple people that did, the designs were okay, but it was nothing I would have wanted to get tattooed. So I just sat down and I was sitting there drawing for weeks. Those designs, kid you not, like every day I would come
and
home.
They look perfect. I thought you used a ruler.
Not to me. You know what I'm saying? So my housemates at the time, Kelly and Steph, all them, like they would come in like, bro, what the fuck? Even my boy LB at the time, he was up there visiting.
Yeah.
And so he saw it and he was just like, bro, he was heavy. Like me and him was the ones who got all tattooed all the time. So all of them kind of encouraged me, like, draw some more, So so but I'm looking at them like, none of y'all are artists. Like, y'all don't know what good, you know what I'm saying? This is all right. But like, I'm gonna take it to an artist that can really make it look good. That's what I'm thinking. But when I took it but Stefan, who actually became my business partner later, he introduced me to this guy named Gleek, who was a tattoo artist in Atlanta. So we used to drive back home to go to school from school. So on one of our trips, we went to Gleek. He did tattoo parties and all that kind of stuff back then out the house. We went there. I gave him the designs. And I had been tattooed by him a couple of times at that point. And he saw him. He's like, dude, when you start, who drew this? And I said, me. He's like, when you start drawing? You know what I'm saying? I was just like, bro, this is it. Like, I ain't know, you know what I'm saying? I don't know shit. He was like, bro, this shit look good. He was like, I said, for real? He was just like, dude, he was just like, I ain't saying like it's like the best drawing I've ever seen. He was like, the drawing can get better. He was just like, but
don't sleep.
Yeah, don't sleep. Like, so pretty much I was just so I took him, took his word or whatever. But for me, it was just kind of like it did spark an interest that was kind of like, like this might be something. You know what I'm saying? And since I grew up hooping, like I never had nothing that I felt like gave me that competitive urge to like always want to improve, always give me something to work towards. All of a sudden, like art did. Like when I started really thinking about it, it was like, man, this was kind of fun. Like I was locked in.
It energized you.
Yeah, it gave me a different kind of energy. And so like, and I had never thought about being an entrepreneur. I had never thought about like, when I thought about entrepreneurs, I honestly thought about businessmen in suits. I didn't think about having a business.
And at this time, you're an engineering major.
Yeah, I'm an engineering major. I'm in my 4th year.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what I'm saying? I'm going into my 4th year. So like, I'm literally not. So at that point, like, I asked him, hey, you do tattoo parties down here. Why don't you come do some tattoo parties with me up in DC?
Yeah.
So he started coming up there, and I was just watching how much money he made, but also watching how free it was to me. Like, and so what started happening was I would have people that would ask me, hey, I got an idea. Can you draw it up? I would draw it and he was tattooing it. So now I'm watching him like, dang, like folks is getting the art that I'm drawing tattooed. And back then it wasn't we didn't have like a lot of the stencil stuff, a lot of the like shit that makes shit real streamlined now. So I'm doing everything by hand. So it's taking me like 2 or 3 hours to draw it, stencil it by hand, do all that. And then he knocking the tattoo out in 15 minutes. And I'm like, damn. But because I didn't want no money from him, I'm like, nah, bro, I'm just learning from you. Because I just wanted to see if it was even something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So he was pretty much like, he came up there twice. I think maybe the 3rd time he came up there, he was like, bro, you gonna tattoo? I'm like, nah, bro, like I ain't did no apprenticeship. I don't know nothing. He was like, man, fuck out of here. Because he learned locked up. He learned, like
he had a different type of apprenticeship.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sure. You know what I'm saying? So he knew how to put machines together from nothing, basically.
Yeah.
So he was just like, he was just like, look, man, if you want to do it, I'll let you, pretty much here's a bag of parts. So it's like literally a bag of just random parts. He's like, if you can put this machine together and it run, I'll let you keep it. It can be your first machine. I'm like, nigga, I'm engineering. Like, which one I want? You know what I'm saying? It was like what I wanted to look like more so than anything else. He gave me a finished machine. So I'm like looking at the finished machine, like, okay, I need this part. And I put it together, it ran. And he was just like, well, shit, you can keep it. So he was like, you want to do your first tattoo? I'm like, what? And I'm like, shit, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah.
So I asked him to take a picture of me holding the machine. And so I made a stencil, put a stencil on the inside of my tattoo and say my own canvas. And after I did it, he was just like, nigga, I ain't think he was gonna do that. I was like, what? He was just like, nah, straight up, I ain't think he was gonna do that. And I was just like, why you asked me to do it? He was just like, I wanted to see what you was gonna do. He was just like, and you fearless, bro.
Yeah.
He was like, not too many people would have just been figuring out they could draw in the last year or so and tattooing themselves now. And
so the first person you tattooed was yourself.
Yeah.
Where's it at?
It's on the inside of my arm. Yeah, so it's like my own canvas, and that's the machine that I had.
Oh my goodness! And you did a good job.
I mean,
did you like it? Yeah. So that's funny because literally one of my first questions is like, "How is your early work? Like, how
terrible. Like, my partners will tell you, like one of my best friends, but he'll tell you pretty much every tattoo I did when I was first starting. He'd be like, "You like that shit?" I was like, "Hell no." But they did though. You know what I'm saying? For real.
Word.
It was like that. Like, because I wasn't happy with the quality compared to what I was seeing. Because I'm looking at back then it was Urban Ink. I had every Urban Ink magazine. Every time it'll come out every month, I get another one every couple months. I mean, every time I saw it in the grocery store, I'm getting one.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at the work in the magazine, like my shit don't look like this. Like it ain't even close. And so I'm asking Gleek, like, bro, like why my shit don't look like this? Like how you do this? And he basically like, shit, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm like, well, shit, I need to find somebody that knows.
Technique.
You know what I'm saying? Like because now I'm getting serious, and I'm like, shit, I want folks to respect what I'm doing. I don't want folks to I don't want to just be a nigga, the tap man.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that.
That's right.
I hate it when folks used to text me. Oh my God, this is my tat man. I used to hate that because I'm a tattoo artist.
I'm a tattoo artist.
Like, it's a difference. There's some tat men out there.
Sure. But I'm an artist.
But I'm an artist.
Yeah, and I'm sensitive about my shit. For real though. Yeah.
For real, like I don't feel like I ain't never really even checked nobody about it. But it always be like,
yeah.
Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What you?
Let me just go on and get that money. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But because some of those same people are still clients of mine to this day, and now they understand.
Yeah, you're an artist.
That I'm an artist.
That's right.
And they respect everything I do. You know what I'm saying? So instead of trying to prove whatever through words, I just show it. I just show them. Yeah. So this is why you're not gonna call me that.
That's right. So, I'm an artist. I love that. Yeah. So we talked about a little bit about apprenticeships, mentorship, stuff like that. It sounds like that was your first apprenticeship. You went on to a different one.
Yeah, for sure. So that was definitely my first. Kind of my first apprenticeship. The reason why I won't say official is because he really wasn't teaching me the things that I needed to know technically to make me a professional tattoo artist. He was teaching me the basics that once I got an apprenticeship, I realized, oh, okay, these are the basics. Like he did teach me a lot of the basics for sure, but a lot of the things he taught me, like I was telling you earlier, you got to unlearn. So like when you're taught by somebody who doesn't really know professional way of doing things, you're gonna learn a lot of things where you kind of just figured it out.
Yes.
But the efficient way of doing it, the right way of doing it, gonna get you right there. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And that's where you don't tear up people's skin. That's where you're not having to go over lines 3 and 4 times. You know what I'm saying? Because you know exactly how to do it. And it's done, boom, it's in and you good.
That's right.
And so a lot of times people get caught up on speed, but it's really about efficiency. If you pass that line and it goes through, then you did it fast. If you got to pass that line and you go fast, well, and you got to do it one more time, well,
and you're not fast.
It ain't no quicker than you just taking your time going through. You
That's
know
right.
What I'm saying?
That's right. That's a lesson right there.
Yeah.
Message. For real though.
If you got to correct it afterwards, then it wasn't fast. Or if it's not clean, then why'd you do it fast? You know what I'm saying? Like, so just take your time. You know what I'm saying? So going into a shop, that was the first thing I learned. Watching my mentor, his name Chris Mensa. Watching my mentor, the thing I watched the most about him was his patience. Like when he worked, first thing I noticed was his posture. He always looked in a comfortable position. He was always just like, it always seemed like he was at peace when he was working. And that's how I wanted to be. Like I wanted to feel like and then I saw some artist like looking like, but he was always just right here, just doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, I want to get like that because I saw his work and I was like, okay, this is what I'm trying to get to. So,
how did you find that mentor?
God. So straight up, like man, nothing I've done hasn't been
because of God.
I can't lie. Like so in the Howard, I made a bucket list. I prayed about it. That's why I said God. I prayed about it. I made a bucket list. A couple things on my bucket list. I wanted to skydive. Wanted to learn how to swim. There was a couple other things on it, but those are the top 2 I remember. So when I took swimming class, what happened was I had a free elective my last year at Howard. So I had already started tattooing and stuff by that time. Like I said, I had a free elective, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take swimming.
Yeah.
It's on my bucket list. I'm gonna take swimming.
Yeah.
So I took swimming. I'm in swimming class, and by that time, I had gotten a lot more tattoos. And most of the time, when people saw my tattoos, especially the ones that was like all over me, they'd be like, "Where you get your tattoos done?"
Yeah.
But it was this one girl in the class. She was just like, "Hey, are you a tattoo artist?" And that was the first time anybody had ever called me a tattoo artist. And I was just like,
Yeah.
No, I was honest. I was just like, I'm trying to. Like right now, I've been doing it, like kind of doing my own thing, but like really trying to find an apprenticeship. Because I want to be professional. And she was like, "Oh, my uncle owned a shop on U Street."
That's why it's important to tell people what you want. Please, you know, because you prayed on it, but you also said it out loud.
Yeah, she was like, she said, literally, my uncle owned a shop on U Street.
Yeah.
And the only shop I knew of was DC Ink at the time. I didn't even know about Pins and Needles. And
I saw you at Pins and Needles.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I remember I walked down to U Street. And because she couldn't remember the name of the shop either. She was just like, his name is Chris. You know, just holler at him. So I walked down to DC Ink. I go upstairs. Everybody rude as fuck. They just like, apprenticeship. And I'm like, well, is it an owner named Chris? They like, yeah, he an owner, but he ain't no artist. Like, what's up? I'm like, all right, man. All right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I was just like, I don't know. Maybe that was the wrong shop. I don't know. I'm confused. So I'm like, that's the only shop I knew of. So I'm just walking back towards campus. You know what I'm saying? And normally when I would walk from anywhere from U Street, normally I cut through and go by the towers.
Yes.
This time I just happened to just keep walking straight all the way up, going like to Georgia
7th.
Ave. Yeah. Going all the way up to Georgia. So if you know, that's the last block before you get to Vermont, which go over to the towers. So because I was right there, I actually saw another shop. And I just see this dude with locks standing in the front, and I'm like, I look up, and I'm like, damn, this is a tattoo shop. I ain't even know. I swear to God. So I walked in there, opened the door, because by that time, I knew I needed something to show. So I had like printed out pictures at the CVS on the 14th right there across the street. Like, you know what I'm saying? Put it in a little binder or whatever. I go in there, and I like, hey, you know, is your name Chris? He like, yeah. I'm like, this is a tattoo shop? He like, looking around like, yeah, nigga. Like, clearly, you know what I'm saying? So it's so funny when people come in here and ask me that shit sometimes. I be like, nah, I did that shit. I can't even be mad at you. You know what I'm saying? I did that shit before, you know what I'm saying? So he kind of looked around like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, hey, man, I'm trying to get a apprenticeship. That kind of gave him the spiel. And the first thing he said was, do you have any? He was like, okay, look like you know what you're doing. You got clean lines. He was just like, do you have any art background? Like any professional art training? I was like, nah, man. I was like, honestly, I just graduated. I was a civil engineer. I just graduated in May. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to, you know, see what I need to do. He was like, well, everybody here is artists, so you need to get some professional art training. I was like, how do I do that? He was just like, go to art school. And I was just like, all right. Because to me, you challenge me now. Like, you telling me I got an opportunity. All I got to do is go to art school.
This is the second time somebody challenged you. The first time was to put the thing together, the machine.
You're right. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, you get okay. So I literally left, went straight to, you know, I was like, went home, but I ain't knowing no art schools. So I walked back up there. It was like, hey, because I wasn't far. So I walked back up there. I'm like, hey, what art schools can I look at? So he gave me a couple. I looked at a couple of them. I enrolled that June. I enrolled in at Montgomery College.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I took art classes from June into that next June. So I took them for a full year. Just the basic art classes though. Yeah. But I think that was enough for him to see that I was dedicated.
That's you know right, you serious about your craft.
I kept taking art classes, but instead of staying at Montgomery College, from that point I started taking studio classes. So there was a spot out in Alexandria called took the Torpedo Factory, which is like, it's like a studio art school. So we do live drawings, like nude models and all that. So I was working with like Conte crayons and charcoal. So I was learning a lot of different mediums, but it was fun because it would be like 8 to 10 weeks at a time. So I was like getting like, you know, so like quick, like, but learning a lot, you know, in them next 2 years. And so by that time he was like, all right, I see what you're doing. Like, I came in because I had booked a tattoo appointment with him. I'm like, fuck it. If he ain't gonna let me I'm gonna at least sit with him and watch him. So I'm sitting there. He called me in there and he like, didn't you want to get an apprenticeship? And I'm like, yeah, you know, he was just like, well, come on back. Let me talk to you. So he was like, because I'm waiting on somebody for their appointment.
How long has it been now since you first met him?
Probably about maybe 6-8 months.
Okay.
Probably about 6 or 8 months.
Okay.
I was kind of just, because by that time he had kind of told me like, I got 2 people ahead of you for apprenticeships. But if you want to come by, you can show me what you're doing at your house because it look like you're doing clean work and you got a clean setup.
So at this point in time, you are tattooing.
I'm tattooing at my house, but he's giving me tips. So he's like showing me, okay, look, these are the magazines that you can order good quality equipment from. This is where you can get this. Where, you know, show me, okay, don't use that liner no more. Use this one next time. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But not really giving me any hands-on training. So, and I was just like, well, can I sit up here any day? So whenever I ain't had no appointment, I would just go up there and sit. And I would just listen. I literally just be ear hustling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, acting like I'm just looking at TV, but I'm ear hustling like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And so eventually, like, one day they was doing something, and I just started doing it with them. I was just like, man, fuck it. So I just started doing it. And he ain't say nothing. And so literally by the time that month was over, he was just like, all right, I'm gonna give you an apprenticeship. So then it was 3 apprentices. You know what I'm saying? But then after I started mine, I had already been tattooing. So all the skills that they were trying to learn, I had already been doing for like a year and a half. So even though I knew my art skills wasn't where they needed to be, because I had just started like drawing and painting and stuff, tattoo wise, like I was way past them already. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when they like this, I'm like, just going through it. But I realized that all them reps of doing $5 and $10 and $20 tattoos at the house got my muscle memory right. So now, like, me pulling a good line with somebody showing me how to do it with the right machine, the right speed, all that stuff, it was like butter. And now I can hear it, because that was the other thing about tattooing. It's even more than just the sight. Like, you can hear the machine running the right way. You can hear how it's going in and out of the skin the right way if you really tuned in. And so that ain't nothing that Bleak taught me. You know what I'm saying? Chris taught me all that. So I knew that I needed somebody to take me to the next level. You know what I'm saying? So and so like I owe everything as far as my technical skills to doing my apprenticeship with Chris.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what's up.
I can't lie.
Yeah. So okay, you have a brick and mortar place now. So this is your spot. Tell me, what was it like getting into your place now? You've been tattooing. I imagine you have a roster of clients at this point. You're not in DC no more. You're in Atlanta. So you back home now. Tell me about this.
It was scary. You know what I'm saying? But I believed and I knew it was the right thing to do. It felt right. It felt so right. It was scary, but it felt so right. It was, matter of fact, when I got the call from so basically I was working at City of Ink. So I moved home and I was working at City of Ink for, my plan was to be working there for 2 or 3 years. And I remember talking to my therapist, and she was just like, Raj, I'm gonna be honest with you. Every time you set a goal and you talk to me about your goals, you reached them way before you thought you would. She was like, so I don't think you got 2 to 3 years. She was like, but whatever. And so she texted me not too long after that session. It was like, I prayed on it. And, she was like, what I saw in the dream was that it's time for you to leave the nest. And I was just like, in my mind, I'm like, man, I just got to Atlanta. Like, but I already know what she's saying. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, okay. So basically, like, when COVID hit, I was relying on the fact that City of Ink got a lot of good walk-ins, that I could build my clientele that way, doing good quality work, eventually, whatever. So when COVID hit, like, we couldn't take walk-ins no more. But I was still getting booked, here and there, but I was still getting booked. But at first, all my appointments canceled. So for the first time in basically 10 years of tattooing, I couldn't work. And it was for about 3 months. You know what I'm saying? So during that time, I journaled a lot, and I put together the plan for this, basically, for my business. You know
God
what I'm
is
saying?
good.
God is good. So he
all
gave
the
me time. Like,
yes.
He gave me time. I didn't have time before that. And that's so,
and
like,
you doing what you're supposed to do.
You know what I'm saying? And so I took the time to really like figure it out, and just like I said, I journaled a lot. Just got a lot of stuff out, like, still being with my therapy, like really just figuring stuff out. And I had, like I said, I'm home now. So even though I'm not working, I'm staying with my cousin, so I ain't got to worry about my bills at the time. So it's like I said, God, like, timing, like, it was like I was getting placed right where I need to be when I need to be there. So by that time though, I was just like, you know what, like, just to clear my head, I started just riding around Atlanta. Because that COVID was the only time you could ride and wasn't no traffic. You know what I'm saying? When everything was locked down. But when I'm riding around, I'm seeing all these places for lease. Like, all of these strip malls that got like suites open and this and that. I'm like, all right, shit, maybe I need to think about getting my own spot. And so I was saving for a crib because I didn't want to rent again. So I was saving for a crib. So I'm just like, well, shit, rather than me putting this money into a crib, like, let me put this money into a business. The business is gonna buy a crib.
The business gonna buy the crib.
You know what I'm saying? And so literally I found this spot. I was able to get it within a week, you know what I'm saying? Started building it out, you know what I mean? And within the next year, I was able to buy my first property.
Come on.
What I'm saying? Well, only, but it's coming. You know what I'm saying? I was able to buy my first property. So, you know, I knew that things were in alignment when things that I wanted to do were happening like that. It wasn't, and I knew it was because I had put in work for so many years that like now I'm starting to see everything falling in place.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Tell me about the requirements. I want to. It's 2 parts.
Well, we're doing an interview right now.
He gave a tattoo.
No, he wanted the artist. We got to meet.
Oh, all right. Certifications, licenses. You need any of that to have your own shop?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay. What do you need?
The same certification you need to have, obviously have a business license.
Yeah.
They recently changed the qualifications for Georgia for body art artists. So it used to be like county by county in Georgia, but now they have like a statewide, like, you know, standard for how you get your license. So that made it a lot easier because especially during COVID, you had a lot of people who couldn't get stuff, who were licensed but couldn't get it because stuff was closed, offices were closed, all that kind of stuff. So they made it easier to get stuff online, stay renewed, you know what I'm saying, stay up to date.
Right.
So yeah, you got to have your body art license, but you also have to have your certification for CPR training and bloodborne pathogens too.
Got you. Yeah, because some people could faint and stuff like that, right? When they get in touch.
So I keep like smelling salts at the station and stuff like that.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, tell me about admin needs and stuff like that, especially. Yeah.
So I had to hire somebody.
Okay. I mean, immediately or
so
how long did you manage that?
I've had different managers or, you know, I guess assistants or whatever you want to call it over the years. But once I opened the studio, I knew I wanted to run it as a business. So when I first opened, it was just gonna be a private studio. I was just gonna work one-on-one. But once I started hiring other artists, you know, I'm somebody that's always trying to make sure everybody good. Yeah. Everybody who I'm working with, I'm trying to make sure if this is what you need, I'm gonna try to make sure we have it. If this is what you so when I started to consider everybody else and making sure I had to figure out the difference between balancing making adjustments to make things comfortable for everybody involved and making adjustments that are gonna completely alter the way my business is run.
That's
you know what I'm saying? And so originally, like when a new artist would come in, like I would shift everything and okay, I'm gonna focus on getting you good. You might not have no clients, I'm gonna try to get your clients, and then I'm like, but I ain't doing nothing on my shit. And now the face of the business, the main push of the business ain't really getting pushed out there. So now I got to try to double back and take care of me. But now you're not getting. So it was like, okay, let me set up a structure and a system. Hold on, we doing an interview But yeah,
we gotta wrap it up.
So that's the admin right there. But nah, so you know, when I realized that like there was so many hats that I had to wear, I knew that the thing that I needed to be able to delegate was the admin stuff. We had a couple viral posts last year for $50 Friday that did, you know, over a couple 100,000 views and share all that kind of stuff. So that from last year is still creating momentum today. On
people
TikTok.
Still finding you
from them same. It was probably like 3 or 4 posts. You know what I mean? That just did really well. That have made the business grow to where not only has it brought more business, but it's brought more artists. It's brought more everything. You know what I'm saying? And that meant, okay, I need to make sure I have somebody in place for when that new wave and that extra business comes, I have somebody who can account. So my first time realizing that I made a good decision, me and her were actually having an in-person meeting, and her phone was ringing like this. And she was just like, "So you have to find me, I help you. So you have to find me." I'm like, I said, the phone be ringing like that. She was just like, yeah. And I was just like, wow.
Imagine if you didn't.
Like, how would I be able to do? I can't tattoo and answer the phone and post for everybody. So I had to hire my niece to start working the social media. You know what I'm saying? Shannon does the TikTok. Shannon is the admin, so she does the TikTok, and she also comes in on Fridays to help with the line. And then my niece does our Instagram page, studio Instagram page. So it's like, you know, I had to just learn how to say, you know what? Let me find somebody to help me. That's really gonna help me though. You know what I'm saying?
That's really gonna help you.
Yeah, because everybody want to get a little check. But are you really there to help me? You know what I'm saying? So
that's right.
So yeah, when I realized I had the right people already around me, I started to just see if they wanted to tap in. So,
that's how it go. All right, I got 2 more things because you gotta go. One of the things I wanted to ask you about, because you are a super creative person, right? Like I think it's a spectrum, right, for everybody. And
I don't think I'm that creative.
I said that about myself too, but growing and evolving.
When I see other artists, I'll be like, damn. Like,
and they say the same thing about you.
Yeah.
So I heard it all my life too about myself, but I didn't think about myself that way. But the reason why I acknowledge it now is because I'm an entrepreneur too. And I hear a lot of times people think like, if you're a creative person, you can't be a successful entrepreneur. But I think, I know from my lived experience that you can. We sitting and live proof that you can. Yeah. And so I just wanted to know if there's anything that you kind of use to balance your creative energy with your entrepreneur energy. Like, you create you still paint, right? You still do the things that nurture your, I don't know, non-business side. Yeah.
The thing that changed everything for me was this book I found that I came across a few years ago called The 12-Week Year. And what it did was it taught me how to structure my days in a way to where, like, so I walk around with that journal every day, and I keep my days written down. That changed everything for me. That's what created a balance, because it allowed me to see my days versus just trying to think about it. People don't understand, like, when you have it in your phone, it's such a, for me at least, it was like a detachment to, like, well, nothing was really locked in.
That's exactly why I write my notes on cards.
Yeah,
because in the phone, it's not locking in. Really.
Yeah. So when I started, like, writing my goals down, not putting them in a note, like writing them down, making vision boards, like really doing it, things changed for me. You know what I'm saying? So I think for me, I think the creative and the entrepreneurial go hand in hand, because I think that, like, I do, and the engineering, because I think, like, for instance, like, most of what you saw in G16, I built. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw it, I literally drew up the schematics, took the measurements, cut the wood, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that was fun. And then, but then on the entrepreneurial side, I also realized, okay, rather than me focusing on being the hands that make all the business happen, let me bring in other artists to help carry the load. Let me create a structure where anybody could come in from any level and make some money here, learn, grow, and move on to the next level that they want to go to. I don't really want to keep anybody here forever. You know what I'm saying? I want people to be able to come, learn, and go to the next step.
That's wonderful.
And so, like, because I got into tattooing and I always wanted to have a profession that could, like, help people. When I first started, it was just my clients that I felt like I was helping, kind of like therapy, whatever. And that was cool, but I saw a lot of artists who just weren't doing stuff the right way. And I knew I had learned the right way. And so I wanted to just help other artists too. So when other artists started reaching out to me, like, for instance, like, I've never reached out to another artist, like, come work here. I have. The only one time I did is because I saw that they posted that they were looking for a place to come. So I was like, hey, I got space. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I've never reached out to anybody, and we continue to grow and grow. You know what I'm saying? So I know that's God.
What's one piece of advice you would give to someone trying to grow in their tattoo space? Maybe they're thinking about opening up a studio or starting to do artwork, design.
So I would say this. Yeah. If you've ever had a job, think about how much money you make on your job. Multiply that times 2. And until you're making that for 3 months straight, meaning a quarter of the year, you know what I'm saying? Don't leave. Don't leave. Because the thing about it, entrepreneurship is very hard. I had the benefit of being an engineer while I was doing my apprenticeship. So while other apprentices were stressed out, I'm like, this is extra shit for me. You know what I'm saying? So so it allows you to have that extra mental stress not be on you for the time that's going to be the most stressful, which is where you're really learning the craft.
So you're free to create.
And so you don't have to jump right into having to work for everything. You can create and be genuinely learning your style and developing and growing, because you're not gonna make no money during your apprenticeship. You know what I'm saying? So, but I had bills. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I can't do this. You know what I'm saying? If I can't do it part time, I can't do it. So I had to be able. That's where After 5 came from. You know what I'm saying? Because I would go to work and then I would do my After 5, and then whenever I would come home, walking back to the house, people, I was staying in Detroit, people would be like, hey man, I'm trying to get hit up. I'm like, man, you gotta hit me After 5, man. I'm on my way to work. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up when I get back. You know what I'm saying? And so actually, KK, right?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So KK the one who actually helped me
Shout
come
out
up
to
with
KK.
the name. Yeah. She always gotta give her credit, man. She the one who helped me come up with the name. Like
That's cool.
Yeah, we were sitting at the bar one day and we were just talking and I was just like, man, I'm trying to come up with my brand.
Yeah.
And this was way before this was when I just wanted the brand After 5, just to talk about just a brand to brand myself. This was back in 2018.
Yeah.
And so I remember sitting with her. And she was like, I was telling her, man, like, yeah, I just be telling folks, yeah, I see them After 5. She was like, that's it.
Yep.
She was like, you should call it After 5. She was like, that's what you do. And I was just like, you know what? That sounds good. And I got chills. Kellen was sitting there.
Because that's your name. Right. That's
Kellen
right.
was sitting on the other side. I said, Kellen, what you think about it? What you think about After 5? He was like, hey, bro.
Yeah.
Kellen was like, hey, bro. I don't know, like that. And so I remember texting a couple other people. I think texted Steve's like, people, and everybody was like, that sounds good, because I wanted something that kind of like was intriguing.
Yeah.
Like After 5, like what's that about? You know what I'm saying? But I also wanted something that was simple. You know what I mean? Something that I knew would look good on clothes. Something that I knew I could like make my own. You know what I mean? And because that's how I felt. Like at the time, I didn't look at it as a side hustle no more. Yeah. I looked at it as something more. So I got a 9 to 5 and I got an After 5.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I knew that. I love that. And so that's where I kind of came up with the idea, like, until your After 5 is making more money, twice as much money as your 9 to 5, don't leave. Don't leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, just stick it out, because eventually you'll be able to. Because when I left. And the other thing I would say is don't leave emotionally. I left my job because they was pissing me off. They had did me wrong. They was trying to cut my salary by like 20 or 30 grand.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
and this was my first, like, I had already been working there in undergrad, and they kept me on. It was for the Department of Defense. And we had just helped this big move of people get moved into the Pentagon and all these other different bases. And then they cut our division. So when they cut our division, they wanted me to take a role in another division that was going to be paying me $20,000 less. And this was right after graduation. So I literally just graduated from Howard. I'm like, okay, normally you think about getting a new job that's going to make you more money. And now you tell me I got to make 20 less. So I looked at the numbers and I'm like, if I just focus in on tattooing, I'll make the 20 less you're talking about with tattooing. Yeah. So shit, let me just do this. You know what I'm saying? So I left on some like, but I didn't quit. I just didn't accept the new position. And so, but because of the way I did it, you know, I didn't get all the leave. I mean, all the severance. Yeah. You know, I didn't get all the. I could have just stuck it out and got a package. You know, but because I'm like, man, all right, fuck y'all niggas.
We was young.
Exactly. So I'm just like, nah. But it was also because I believed in what I was doing. Yeah, I really did. I felt free. It was like, and so that's why I think an After 5 don't necessarily have to be something that makes you money. It's got to be something that gives you some freedom. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't have to make money off of their hobby. You know what I'm saying? But I do think that if you take it serious enough, it will eventually bring something.
Yeah. That's right. Okay, my last question. What's your sign?
I'm a Gemini.
You're a Gemini. Yeah, so it's KK.
Hey, man, that was good. Man.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, this is beautiful.
Getting a tattoo. He was the one who was like, hey, man, like, you need to think about tattooing. He was like, but you drew exactly what you're telling me you wanted to draw. I can see everything. Yes. He was like, and it'll fit that body part that it's supposed to go on. And that's one of the hardest things to do in tattooing. Is translating regular art to the skin, and you got that. He was just like, man, you need to think about it. So of course I was an engineer, so I was like, whatever. Yeah. But you know.
And tell me about this one.
Okay, so this says righteous going down the middle. Oh. So it's like a stained glass window. Right? Yes. So it was like a stained glass window. I think about like the perfection of being quote unquote righteous. So that's why it's like a perfect sharp point. You know what I'm saying? The diamond really wasn't. I think that was more so because I knew it wanted to go on my ribs. I knew that was a good shape. So that was why it's a diamond. So for me, it was all the things inside. I thought about, okay, in a stained glass window is normally like little images. In the window. So I thought about all the things that I thought were righteous. So one is like, so if you look right here, this is like a fist, like the unity fist. So unity, unity, that kind of thing. That's one of the things that I think are righteous.
Is that peace?
Peace. So that's a dove, that's a sun, so that's peace. Okay. Down here is the justice scales. So justice. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, whatever you consider justice is, to me, is righteous. Yeah. You got 2 unks in there for like everlasting life. So it's like a
Roger, you nice.
This is my first drawing.
Yeah.
So I was just like.